Yeah, okay, we're in the pre-show. Anybody who's on already, I really thank you about jumping on early, because it's actually not even 7:30 yet. We tell you get on, we start at 7:30, but if you get some of this pre-show, you'll get some of the extras. As you can see, I got some guests in the studio, and we're going to chop it up. This is some really interesting, challenging times, and some of the things we're going to talk about now, controversial as they may be, or what we should be discussing. On the Wright Report, we do edutainment for the community, so we're not just talking to the riffraff. We also trying to educate you about what's going on in and around the community and the country, and everything that we got going. You gonna cue up that start piece for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you want the start piece?
Yeah. So
okay.
as we in the studio, we're trying to get it together, trying to get it right. But I just want you to know this is going to be some interesting discussion, because it's the conversations that we have to have. Things are changing at a rate of warp speed, and if we don't stay abreast of it and try to get in front of it, we will get swept up in this tidal wave of injustice that is permeating this country right now. And I, for one, as I will repeatedly tell you and anybody else, I am not going back to any of those conditions that they want us to go back to. And if you with me or you don't want to, I suspect that you should be thinking about getting involved with this movement to really bring some justice to everybody. Because right now this thing is just off the chain, and I know that's the colloquial way of saying it, but straight up, we're in a state of crisis. And
okay, do you want the a shot of Shakur?
Nah, I want the other one. I want the Tupac. Yeah. We start off with Tupac because that's what we trying to do. We trying to spark the mind that will make the change. I know that.
Then to close out the show, you want the Samuel Jackson?
Yes.
I'll get rid of a shot of Shakur.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you'll hear the behind the scenes talk. It's a hot mic, so please excuse us and strap in, man, because this is gonna be a rough one, man. I take no pleasure in discussing the issues that we're gonna have to discuss, because we shouldn't have to at this juncture, but discuss them we must, and not just discuss them. We got to come up with some. We got to come up with some stratagems that's going to allow us to, to make things happen like they're supposed to happen for all our people. And you'll see, man. I'm glad we had this show. I, as always, want to thank my brother and studio man, Richard Wicker, founder, owner, proprietor, engineer, all-around guy for Think Twice Radio. And remember, when you think twice, you usually think right. And when you think right, you're thinking the Right Report. Edutainment for the community. Coming at you live and actually in color. As you can see, we got you. We got you covered for this evening. Our hour of power, where we talk about things that resonate with us, and we come up with solutions, not just to discuss the problems that are facing our community and our people. And I want to send a shout out to, who was that I saw the other day? Oh, remember from Edenwald, what was it? Nene and Mika, the twins who sat down and listened to some of our commentary and were so interested. They said they were going to chime in on the show, because they normally don't do that. They ain't really social media people and all that, and they don't want to hear the riff rap. But because of the discussion we had with them, they felt compelled to want to join us. I hope they join us tonight. If not, I did promise that for the conversation we had, and for even saying they would join us at some point, that I would give them a shout out, because we don't generally do shout outs, because that's what we don't generally do. You ready?
First time for everything.
So I will hit. It's the first time for everything.
You should have the.
I got the timer. You ready for me?
I got the timer here.
Okay. All right. I
now,
just got.
You see the starting piece next to you?
Yes. All I gotta do is hit it.
Yeah. You know how to start it, right?
Yes, I do. Yep.
Okay. So when the timer says on the air, you're on the air.
Got you. So listen, we going live now.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out. You know what I'm saying? Every time I speak, I want to shiver. I don't want them to be like, they know what I'm going to say because it's polite. They know what I'm gonna say. And even if I get in trouble, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that what we're supposed to do? I'm not saying I'm gonna rule the world or I'm gonna change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us. We might not be the ones, but let's not be selfish, and because we're not going to change the world, let's not talk about how we should change it. I don't know how to change it, but I know if I keep talking about how dirty it is out here, somebody going to clean it up.
Ha! Boy, legendary words from the legendary rapper and, you know, man, really artist, Tupac Shakur. Change, man. I'm hoping that these discussions will spark the brains of somebody out there who will help us to make this change that we need. Again, if you're just joining us, my name is Jerome, Wright, and I am the host of the Wright Report, what we call edutainment for the community, and where we bring you insightful dialogue, where we bring you news you can use, and where we talk the truth, man. Ratings don't matter, facts do with us, and if you don't think about it, when we say it, you can fact check it. We always got receipts. We don't play that credit down. We come with receipts, cash in hand. So we're going to talk about some things tonight. But I got some special guests in the studio this night. It's always a blessing when you can share space and time with your family, especially those who are conscious and woke and part of the struggle. And tonight I bring to you straight from the Big Apple, the dirty New York City, my family members, Tyrone Morgan and Marvin Green, cousin and uncle. I'll let you figure out who is who and which is which, because half the time I don't know myself, because they both think they happen to be older than me, so I have to respect my elders tonight. I'll keep my barbs, safe and short. But yeah, they here because we had an event the other day. They came up to participate in that, and though it was successful, many of you who knew about it did not come out. And I'm not judging, because I don't know what your situation is why you didn't, but you missed an amazing opportunity to learn about something that right now is very pressing, that we have a state of emergency in the Department of Corrections and Community Supervision, and we have an effort afoot right here that I found out just a minute ago in Erie County to try to repeal HALT by putting a resolution in from the Erie County Legislature. Let me repeat that. Right now, I just got information that on Thursday morning, the Erie County Legislature is about to try to pass a resolution that would stop HALT. Mind you, they've never implemented it. So what they stopping, I don't know, but they're going to do that. And I'm asking the community to come out to support the effort for them not to do that, to come out to be ready to speak at the county legislature on Thursday morning, to come out and stand with us if you don't want to speak, show up and show your support. But I'm also asking you that if you don't want to talk, you can write comments and commentary that they have to read and look at, and they have to make a decision based on some of that too. So we're asking the community to come out in force and show that we ain't want to continue to torture our citizens and our brothers and sisters, regardless of the lies that they spew, because I'm telling you what they say is lies. And the receipts that I'm talking about, we had the other day at Elam Christian Fellowship Church. We had the tour bus, the national tour bus for the Journey to Justice tour. And that bus gave you a museum-size example of what torture looked like over time, over the ages, over several states in this country. And I would happen to be there and see people as they come out. We had people coming out visibly shaking, crying. We had people in all states of discombobulation, and they saw an exhibit. They were not in solitary. And here are people talking about there's no such thing as solitary, or that we making this up like me and my guests ain't been in solitary confinement. Like it's a figment of our imagination. I need y'all. I need y'all to come out. We need to address this. We cannot have them do what they're trying to do. And I want to pull up a little something I want us to think about as our quote of the day. But first, let me give homage to God, who continues to rule and reign in my life. And I know some of y'all, we ain't trying to hear this religious stuff. I don't think it's any time that, I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about God. I'm talking about the creator of all things who manifests itself in the experience of my being able to sit here before you and talk to you like this. Because
Right.
to his glory only would I be here. Because they definitely, that definitely wasn't in the plans by everybody else. So I am always going to give him honor. And I mean no disrespect to anybody of any faith or, as they say, of no faith. But I'm going to do what I got to do. And that's what God told me to do, is, man, give him honor, glory, and praise. As often as ever I can, and I'm giving that now. I didn't even start out with that. But listen to this. Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage. I'm going to say it again because that's a lot to ingest, but I want you to listen to me carefully. Before the truth can set you free, you need to recognize which lie is holding you hostage. We always hollering about how the truth will set you free, truth will set you free. But what's mostly holding us in bondage is not the truth, it's the lies that we've been told. Amen. That keep us deaf, dumb, and blind to the truth.
Speak truth to power.
And that's what we're talking about here. And the truth of the matter is, halt is the law. I don't understand what's so hard in understanding that. And laws are supposed to be followed, and definitely followed and enforced by law enforcement. So while we're in this predicament where that's not happening, I don't know. But we need to get out of this, and we need to get out of this together. This movement needs to coalesce right now, because there's a direct affront on the liberties. It ain't just on the federal level, it's on every level. It starts at the top, but it rolls downhill. So Thursday, 9 a.m., I'd like to see my people down in front of the county legislative building. I think it's 95 Franklin. We need to show up and show out. It is imperative, because they're trying to continue the subterfuge they did with making halt an issue when the real issue was the brutal lynching and murder of Robert Brooks and Messiah Nantweet. And we're going to get back to that. But think about that. Before the truth can set you free, you got to recognize which lies hold you hostage. I'll give you a prime example of that. Then my guts go join in this conversation. And of course, the lines is open. You can chat in with us, and we'll respond as best we can. But think about this. We've been told so many lies in this country that we don't even know the truth. So when you hear the truth, it's like that scene out of A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth because a lie told often enough becomes the truth to you, so that when the real truth comes, you can't differentiate.
Speak.
So the lie that's being told now is that halt is dangerous to the environment in there, that it doesn't allow them to keep a safe environment. This year, 144 plus men and women died in the Department of Corrections. Not a single correction officer. Who's safe? Whose safety is at stake? During that illegal strike where they broke the law yet again, law enforcers break the law yet again, tailor law. That law is put in. The reason why they have that law is so that you couldn't strike in areas where you put the people who you're striking against in the most vulnerable position of life, liberty. And that's what they did. 12 people, at least 12 people that we know of, died during that illegal strike period. If I killed 12 people, I'd be considered a serial killer. Yet, Daniel Monticello, the commissioner of docks, Kathy Hoku, the superintendent, nobody lost their job. You got coaches in the NBA who lose a couple of games and get fired. We lost 12 lives over a legal strike with nobody got no consequences. So when they talk about no consequences for halt, that's a lie. No consequences is the situation that just happened, where 12 people can die because you broke the law. And then nobody goes to jail, nobody gets prosecuted, nothing happens. To add insult to injury, yesterday we had 2 of 3 officers who were involved in the same brutal lynching and murder of Robert Brooks on video, who were found not guilty of all charges. And people ask about racism, racism. Let me tell you something. I got friends, some of them you sitting here, that if we was involved in something and somebody died, all of us. That's why they got felony murder on the books. That's why they got other conjugations of crimes on there, so that if you played any role in it, you could be adjudicated for it. Here we got even a sergeant who filed a fraudulent report, found not guilty of filing a fraudulent report. And if you think that one officer being found guilty is justice, then you don't know what justice is. You have absolutely no idea. That's no measure of justice. That has nothing to do with justice. That's the sacrificial lamb. That's taking one for the team. That's you messed up the most, so you carry the weight. But the rest of us are going to go free and continue to do what we've been doing. See, you think that incarcerated people's lives don't matter because they locked up. Even though some of them are your family, friends, neighbors, co-workers, even though some of them didn't commit the crimes they're in there for, even though some of them only in there because of poverty and racism, and even if they're in there for the crimes they committed, a criminal sentence should never be an excuse to dehumanize or torture anybody.
Exactly.
I don't even know what else to say right now. You want to chime in? Go ahead. It's unconscionable to me that in 2025 that the subterfuge and games are going on. Not that they happen, because even the good book said the weapons will be formed against you. They just won't prosper. So I expect that the weapons to be formed, but they seemingly are prospering because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. Speaking truth to power and standing up. You got something to say?
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'm very much a proponent of the HALT program, the HALT law.
Thank you.
Okay, and let's call it like we see it, This was a bill that went through the legislature, okay, that was voted on, all right, and signed into law by the governor of New York State. Mary Cuomo, is as if I remember.
Yeah, cool.
Okay? All right. So this was a law on the books. Okay. Last time I remember, okay, if you broke the law, okay, no matter who you are, okay, you were held to account. But where's the accountability in this travesty? Okay?
This is a quick point. That no longer holds true what you said. It did.
Yeah.
But right now, we have a president.
Of course. This is where I'm getting at. This is where I'm getting at. Okay, and I can go on and on because this is in my wheelhouse. All right. I'm very politically aware. Okay, nationally, internationally, okay, because I have to be, and because our very lives are at stake, our very well-being are at stake, okay. The rule of law, as you hear, we're going to the rule of law, it's all about the rule of law, okay. The rule of law only benefits those who are in power. Okay. All right. But power is not just only, and I will say this, power is not only taken, but it can also given, but it also can be taken. Okay, and that's a fact. All right? That's a true fact. There is no more rule of law, not in today's time. Because when let me say, I don't call no names. I could call names, but I won't do so. When a government administration can wantonly, cavalierly, just violate, push the envelope all of it damn near off the table. Excuse my French. All right, and violate the law, circumvent the law, dismiss the law. Okay, ignore the law. Okay, what do you think happens? Okay, the law becomes a worthless piece of paper. Okay, all right. It no longer. It has no teeth. All right, because if it has to be, if the law only is as good as it is enforced.
Facts.
Keeping 100. All right, so if at the top, okay, at the top, and I say this, is not following or respecting or enforcing the law, as they say, law and order, okay, that trickles down to other areas of life, okay, businesses, governments, or institutions, whatever have you, okay, and there is a sort of, what I would like to say, a massive of transformation in the way things are governed, or how one say this, how it's managed or mismanaged. Okay, mismanaged. Okay, and to their benefit, to their interest. Okay, to their goal, and for the halt law to be totally ignored, okay, totally be dismissed, okay, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Because you know what? You start with, people don't understand, you start with halt, and what's next? When you don't respect one law, then actually all laws is not being have the ability to be disrespected. Just like injustice to some of us is injustice to all of us.
Absolutely.
You can't separate them. And what we see right now in this paradigm is that, as you was alluding to, from the top down, there's no respect for the law. It is only given out to people's individual proclivities and advantages, and is not even fair. First of all, you want to keep it honest. It's never been fairly administered to us. Never. That has not been our experience in this country. So let's keep that on the book. And so I want us to stop thinking that it's going to be fair or was fair. That's not what we're talking about right here. It ain't got so bad. Like I said, they trying to take us back to the time. You know, there was Plessy versus Ferguson. Absolutely. That was the case that said that a black person had no rights that a white person had to respect.
Amen.
He could do anything to you. Anything. When I say anything, capitals, brackets, however you want to emphasize it, that means anything. And there was no consequence or repercussion in the law, because we had no rights that they had to respect. That is where we're going to right now. When you talk about, here's a law that we spent 8 legislative cycles, which amounts to about, in actual years, 12 years, a dozen years of lobbying, advocating, rallying, bus trips, community speaking to groups, all of this to gain what we ended up getting was a supermajority in both chambers of the legislature and signed. And then, poof, nothing. No implementation. And now you're talking about repealing it. You're talking about recommendations to change it, when, first of all, it has never been fully implemented. Mm-hmm. It never been rolled out to the degree, to the letter of the law, and definitely not the spirit of the law. And you know what it does. People who came to that Journey to Justice tour, who got on there, saw firsthand how people were tortured, how years later they still have the impact. I was tortured. I got residual damage. I don't care how I look and sound right now. I don't lie to myself. I may lie to anybody and their mother, but I ain't gonna lie to myself. And I know that there are issues currently impacting my life that I have to get dealt with because of solitary confinement. And everybody's different. Some person can take 10 days, but they say within 4 hours of being locked in the cell like that, your body physiologically begins to change. Your mind begins to atrophy almost immediately from the lack of stimulation. And as a human being, your DNA is short-circuited because every fiber of your body wants to be in social communication and in conversation with another human being. And they telling me that ain't torture. The worst torture, you know how we used to do. I'd rather got a beating than got put on punishment, which means that was solitary. You had to stay in your room, couldn't have no fun, no TV, no game. We didn't have all that games when I was growing up, but you couldn't do nothing. That's solitary confinement.
Exactly.
Even your mother, your parents were wise enough to know that they were going to leave you there for a week, a month, a year, 10 years, because it was going to not do you the benefit of learning anything or becoming better. So why are we allowed to do it now? Because the population is predominantly black and brown. See, people are going to say, oh, you the angry black man, oh, racism is everything. Racism is everything when you look like me.
Absolutely.
Snap cuts. They talking about, listen, they cutting. I keep trying to tell you, it starts with the people who they think are most vulnerable that you will say, yeah, I don't care about them. Until you find out it's you. And they say it to you, we don't care about you either. That's why you got to get on board. Listen. The fact of the matter is, this country has stood on illegal territory from the day one. The lies that they have told you about discovering this country, which is a lie, about any of the stuff they told you, about the Constitution being the ballyhooed document of liberty and justice, it wasn't for all of people who don't even know, don't even recognize that when the Constitution was ratified,
amen,
not only did half of them own slaves, and not only was it written in there that black people were 3/5 of a human, not only was it written in there that women had no power whatsoever. None. We ain't gonna talk about immigrants or anybody else. If you weren't a wealthy landowner, lord, baron, or something like that, you didn't matter. Just like they try to make black lives not matter, and now they're trying to make incarcerated people's lives not matter. I say this all the time, and you're gonna get tired of hearing me say it. Incarcerated people's lives matter too. Because I was incarcerated and my life mattered then and it matters now. There is not a life that God creates that doesn't matter because he wouldn't create it.
Absolutely.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Bring tears to my eyes, bro. Because it's sad.
Amen.
Hey, that's sad. You can tell your experience. I mean, like...
Yeah, I want...
Take your time, bro. And I want y'all to know that when we talked about how emotional people got in that exhibit, my uncle's one of them, man. Again, I got to get this disclaimer. We don't subscribe to the notion as men that men don't cry, boys don't cry. Because I'm telling you, if you don't cry, you end up killing. Because that's we are one of the only species that God created that have that release valve. That you cry and release that pain. Or we cry for joy, but it's so overwhelming joy, that's why you cry. Because if you had to contain that, if those tears didn't release it, God knows what would happen to you. So, first of all, men cry because we human. Crying is human. It ain't male or female, positive or negative, masculine or feminine. It is human, and it separates us from all other species. The last time I seen a cheetah cry, I never did. So they don't cry, all that. We cry to relieve pressure, to express pain, sorrow, happiness, and joy. Just take your time. You know, when you're ready, you say what you gotta say.
I didn't even talk. 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 I didn't even talk But how much time I spent with others, oh man. What I experienced yesterday is it just overwhelmed me because I spent 30 days in solitary confinement. I'm thinking that was a lot. I listen to people's story that's been years. And I've been dealing with something over 40 years. I didn't know where it came from. Well, I don't like to be in enclosed space, elevators, and I never had that issue before I went through solitary confinement. And what I experienced yesterday, it just, I could, right now, I'm trying to express, I can't get it out because just think about what I went through and think about what people went through for years. It's inhuman. You know, what I had to endure, like I said, I did 30 days. I've been home 40 years. And for 40 years, I've been having trouble sleeping. I would be in my house, my wife in the bed, and I would jump up and run out the house and go outside and just walk up and down the street or go sleep in my car because I'm not enclosed no more. And I never realized for 40 years, if she could tell you, my family, brothers and they, what is wrong with you? When I would go to people, family's house, I would go on vacation and I could not stay in it because I don't care how big the room is. I start feeling closed in, and I never for 40 years knew what it was about until I experienced that yesterday. And I know I'm gonna do better because now I know where it came from. But for 40 years, I had to deal with this here because I was only put in solitary confinement, and I did 30 days. So imagine somebody that's been in there for a year, 2, 10 years. I met people that have been in there for 30 years. 30 years. And I'm looking at this, what this did to me after 30 days. I can't imagine what my nephew went through. Because I know what it did to me for only 30 days. And I dealt with it for the last 40 years. And I never realized it destroyed me. It destroyed me. I don't want to, I guess anymore, because I just.
It's okay. No. This is real talk.
For 30 days, I dealt with something for 30 days. I dealt with something for 40 years behind what happened to me for 30 years. I'm put in a cell. Couldn't wash, no clothes, no contact with outside people. I wasn't even allowed visits. You're supposed to get a shower. It was saying once a week. I didn't get no shower. Lights on. I can't sleep because lights are on 24 hours, 7 days a week.
You have no control over the light.
At all. You can't wash up. You got to wash up in the sink. Get no shower. Okay, I could take literally 3 feet. I'm 6'1", and I'm hitting the wall. And I don't understand. Like I said, I dealt with it for 40 years since I've been home. And I see where it came from. I know where it came from because I feel better about it. Because something I never dealt with. I really didn't know where this came from until I see what others went through and realized this is why I don't want to be inside. I'd rather be also with wide population, like something like that. It's crazy.
No, they know it creates psychosis, phobias, anxiety, heart disease. They know this, and they know what works. They know that halt programming is what changes people's lives, like it changed many of us. Being involved in pro-social programming, being involved with other people. When you're out talking to people, you learn things about yourself, and you learn things about life that are positive. Being locked in a cell by yourself with no devices, what do you learn?
No windows. I was in there. I didn't know it was 30 days I was in there. When I went in there, I can't say the exact date. When I came out, I was going up further to Clinton. I was in Sing Sing at that time. Never seen adjustment committee and everything. And I can't recall this 40 years. If I'm not mistaken, you have 7 days
to conduct in 14 days to finish.
Okay. 30 days, that's that.
And you had nothing.
And nothing. Next thing I know, I was on
And this is why, see, people talk about halt just not having people in solitary. One of the main reasons why legislators signed on the halt, because they investigate and find out that 65 to 70% of the people in solitary shouldn't be there in the first place.
Exactly.
They weren't the worst of the worst, as they want to say. They weren't violent. They went in there for stuff like taking extra food from the mess hall by talking back to an officer who disrespectfully talked to them first.
No matter what, I'm a man.
Right. So you could all for being proactive, working in the law life, being on a grievance committee, being on the liaison committee, where you're helping other people and showing leadership that they don't want you to show. They throw you in it. When they beat you up or kill you, that's where they hide you, in the box where nobody knows where you're at, nobody can see, nobody can get to you. So. We just saw on video what they did to Robert Brooks. They did that to me. But for the grace of God, I would be dead.
That's right.
And they do that on the regular. There's a goon squad in every facility. There's a team that comes in and they beat people down. People who are already restrained, handcuffed, incapable of defending themselves or fighting back. That's cowardice.
Exactly.
That's punk stuff. Ain't no man worth his salt or woman who is going to abuse a person who cannot fight back.
Talk about it, bro.
Cannot fight back. And you think you tough. You think you tough. You was a punk to the nth degree. I want to say that live and in color. We have got to, the lies, look at the lies. Forget Columbus on it. They're telling you a lie that there are no consequences for halt. That if you could break the rules and just go back out, nothing happens. If you read the law, there are sections that clearly delineate what every infraction of a violent or other serious nature, what the punishment is. There are not no consequences. There's a consequence for your actions. However, ain't no consequences for the Department of Corrections actions in not following the law. And you want to know why you got lawlessness in there now? Why you may have assaults more now? Because people begin to understand that if you're not going to follow the law, then they're not going to follow the law. If you're not going to help them to get better, they're going to get worse.
That's right.
But it seems to be that's what you want.
This thing I dealt with this for 40 years from being there for 30 days. For 40 years.
40 years. That's a whole lifetime.
40 years.
And now you just know why. You still got to work on healing from that knowledge and what you know. Exactly. So there's going to be more than 40 years of dealing with it.
Okay. I'm 66 years old. From the age of 26.
You ain't got 40 more years to work on it.
I'm in the last quarter of my life. But this is what I had to deal with. For 30 days. For some nonsense. I was told I couldn't even look at it. That's what I'm put in there for. When you look at that. I got eyes. I can't look at you. Who are you? Don't try to dehumanize me. Don't try to make me feel less than a man. Because that's how I stand. What I believe in, I stand there. I'm going to die. I'm a man. When I was born, the doctor smacked me in my rear end. He didn't say punk, faggot. Well, he said man child. Don't try to do that. You put me in there to try to break me. And I dealt with it for 40 years.
Exactly.
I'm good now, and I'm going to get better because I got people that's going to help me.
That's right.
I'm going to get better. So y'all did not destroy me.
That's right. And you're not going to roll back home. Okay. I'm telling you, we will. Man, listen, brothers been telling me, and I'm telling you directly, quote, verbatim what they're saying. They're saying if their families can't be safe and alive in there, then other people's families going to have to worry about being safe and alive out here.
That's right.
Because abusing people and killing people because you have the ability to do it under the color and cloak of law is not acceptable. It ain't acceptable.
Right.
And what's even less acceptable is the fact that you think you're going to keep getting away with it and nothing's going to happen. I mean, I remember this is what started groups like the Black Panthers and the BLA and the Sympathy. When they said, you killing people in our community, if you kill one of ours, we're going to have to kill one of yours because y'all don't seem to want to respect us.
Talk about the Attica riots and what was the basis or the crux of that.
And this is halt was the basis of it.
Yeah.
One of the tenets of the demands of the brothers who died, who were rebelling against the system that was oppressing them and doing what they're still doing now, is solitary confinement. People were disappearing, getting put in solitary when they got beat up. They were dying in solitary, nobody know why. They were losing their minds. All the things that we know was happening, and nothing was being done about it. So them brothers in that list of demands, besides having packages from home, for having real visits, non-contact visits, for having groups like grievance committees and liaison committees to have real ways to voice complaints and legitimize issues.
Mm-hmm.
And they've taken all of that.
And why was that done? When they fought like that, to keep from getting violent inside.
Right. They didn't want to resort. They didn't want.
They didn't want to resort to rioting.
When a person rebels and risk their life and liberty, it's because they had nothing else to do.
Okay.
And nothing
That
else to
you have
lose.
brought them to the point, you've backed them into that proverbial corner where, as a man or woman, I am going to fight, no flight. And that's where we are now. We're on the precipice of Attica 2.0. They have taken packages. They have taken mail. Mail used to be censored and cut. They doing that again. Visits. Contact visit. Them brothers died for contact visit where you could sit in the table like a human being with your family. They still got you cross tables and all type of security all over type you. Now listen, they got that security over you, over your visit, right over your head, your table, looking right at you. After they just brought your family through, dogs, scanners, x-ray, and after they brought you through the search, almost oral cavity search to get in there, and now, but during COVID, if they got drug problem, during COVID when there were no visits, there were still drugs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no visits. You say our visitors bring it in, you shut it down. Drugs are still there. So where'd that come from? Commissary. Where that came from. You got officers, these guards who say they not safe. I'm not feeling safe in there. If they can go through the scan, they can object to going through a scanner to find out if they have anything on them that's illegal. The same one I gotta go through, or my family gotta go through. They can decide not to go through there and bring whatever the hell they want in there.
Yeah, he said it, on COVID we had no visits, so how was it getting in there?
Same way getting there most of the time.
It was getting there. It was getting there some kind of way.
The same way.
Ain't hard to figure that out.
We know that staff, both civilian and guards, bring more drugs. If any drugs come in there, most of it is coming through that. They know this.
Still breaking the law.
That's what I'm saying. Law and order is a catchword for let's lock black people up. That's what it's for. It don't apply to nobody else. Don't apply. Who else does it apply to? Look at these these correction officers who got not guilty verdicts when they're on film. Listen, they got found out guilty of gang assault. You know why? Because in America, nobody looks at cops as a gang when we know that's what they are.
Exactly.
Speak on it.
We know that's what they are.
Right.
Exactly.
But nobody. So how could you be convicted of gang assault if you're a cop and we can't see you as being a gang? So that's why you come up with that verdict. But that's a lie. If we jump Richard Wicker, never would do that, Rich, to say, because we need the studio anyway. We'll never do that. If we jumped on him right now, all of us is getting charged with it. All of us going to trial, and all of us going to get convicted of some charge or another. None of us walk. We stomp him out, and they're going to say all of us participated in it. And if we didn't and didn't try to stop, God has a duty to intervene. Care, custody, and control me. You're supposed to care for me just like you custody hold me and you control my movements. And that care means that if your brothers on your team do violate, that you have a duty to intercede. Because you're supposed to be caring for me and my life.
So who's the real criminal?
You talk about the other protections that they're trying to implement with the qualified immunity.
Here it is. Talk about it. No, what I really want to come back really quickly is to Thursday, because we are at a state of emergency. We got an issue that's going to happen this Thursday at the Erie County Legislature on Thursday morning, where they're going to try to vote and convince the legislature to sign a resolution asking for the state government to repeal HALT. You know what's really ironic about that? That same legislature, though there was some different members, voted to file a resolution for halt to be passed by the state. So now they got some more conservative people. They got a partnership with the sheriff's department, a partnership with Peace Prince, and this little cabal is running that whole thing, and they want to do what they want to do, but not follow the law.
Exactly.
I worked in the holding center, and they weren't following it. When I brought it up, they still didn't follow it. And let me tell you something. While we got elections coming on, first of all, I thought we was gonna have a guest tonight. Betty Jean Grant. I don't know what happened, but I know she out on the trail trying to get folks together. I wanted to interview her, and I endorse her. The other woman who's running for who was appointed, who's running now, Jean St. Todd, whatever her name is, she's compromised because she works with the sheriff's department to our detriment. Mm-hmm. That Erie County Corrections Advisory Board is a sham, just like that DOC's recommendation board for halt was a sham. They include people who are benefiting from their employment with other agencies that's in partnership with the sheriff's department. And I don't know, let me tell you something. It's just incredulous to me that a monitoring agency would partner with the agency that they're monitoring.
But it's a conflict of interest.
They keep talking partnership. If you're doing your job, you're doing right, what do you need a partner? First of all, why would I be a partner with you when that automatically imbues me with an ideology that I'm not going to look at you the same way because we have a partnership? It doesn't have to be adversarial time. We ain't got to have beef. We ain't got to be the op. But we can't be partners. And when they preached that when I was on the board, they got me fired. And then, at insult to injury, they fired me and said that my board was no good. And then they hired 3 or 4 of the people who was on that same board with me because they just didn't want me on it.
Exactly.
And that's not aggrandizing, and I'm not here gloating like I'm all that in a bag of chips. But I can tell you what, the facts are the facts.
Speaking facts. Mm-hmm.
I was removed because I asked the questions that a non-partner would ask an agency that they're monitoring. Because we're non-partners in this. Our partnership is with the legislature and the community, not the sheriff's office. The partnership is with the legislature to let them know what's going on and the community to keep them abreast. It has nothing to do with being partners with the police, who are supposed to be monitoring, who have the worst record in the world. Millions of dollars in money going out in lawsuits for illegal behavior, assaults, and all kind of mischief and malfeasance. Deaths that rival the national average. Recidivism rate, 80%. And they want a new jail. They want money for this, helicopter boat, and they delivering nothing for the community, but more taxpayer money. So I need y'all to come out Thursday, man. I had plans to go down to some of the other rallies around the state about halt, and I have to curtail those. I have to be there. I have to be able to testify, and I have to be there to stand up for those brothers and sisters who are being tortured now, and who will be tortured later if we don't address this. This is a state of emergency. Listen, you wonder why your sons and daughters and nieces and nephews and cousins and them come home and can't get it right? You know why they can't get it right? Some of it is solitary confinement in and of itself. The other part is this, excuse me, no such thing as rehabilitation.
Absolutely.
There's no such thing as trying to make sure you don't come back. The goal is, let's keep our families
employed. More debilitated than rehabilitated. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk. First of all, the misnomer that rehabilitation is what they supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
Let's keep it. Let's surgically slice this up. Yeah. Rehabilitation. So I break my leg. They send me to rehab. to get it back to where it was, strengthening it and all of that. I mean, it was good before. They try to make it to be back as good as it was, right? How does that concept work with a population that is already deficient in so many areas? That how do you rehabilitate them? If you come in broken, how do you fix them?
Exactly.
What do you rehabilitate them back to? Because that's the concept. So the concept should be habilitation. Teaching people, giving them the resources to learn how to do the things they need to do. That's what programming is. That's what group therapy is. That's what letting the community come in and bring in services. That's what letting peer-led groups mean. Groups led by myself and others who have experienced things and can share that and enlighten others. They don't want none of that. Yeah. All of that looks too much like a low recidivism rate, and we got to close some more prisons. And we got to close some more prisons.
Because it's one of the biggest revenue streams that help generate the communities up there in those counties.
That's right.
Okay? And it's generational. It's generational. The grandfather, the great-grandfather, to the grandfather, to the father, to the son, to the grandson. Okay? And it's generational, okay, because it's their revenue stream. Okay? They find that it is feasible. Okay, because without a prison population, okay, all right, what else would they?
No, we won't break it down a little further. We surgical leaders say they used to be farmers. Agriculture is no longer the business. They subsidize and they pay them pennies on the dollar for what they get. Now they could not continue to live the way agriculture is going. So what they do? This is what we'll do. We'll put a prison in your community, and it will bring an infuse of finances and boost the economy. You have stores who will be making more money. You have guards who will be there with pensions, with money that they spend in the community. You create what they call a fortress economy. You know, in the Old West they had fortresses, so they keep all the bad guys out, and everything was in there, right? To help them have whatever they wanted, and that's what we got right now. We got prisons who substitute for economy.
Prison industrial complex.
Yes, but we got the medical industrial. This is all we got is complexes here. No, they got every complex.
I was going
the military industrial complex. Yeah,
I was like, Myra, this. I'm like,
yes, this is why we ain't gonna get no whole bunch of people on here, because this is Prison Alley. From Western New York to Central New York, you got most of the prisons, and most of the bigger maximums are up here, where they hide all our people. So they not gonna bite the hand that feed them. They got stores who close when the jail closed because they don't have visitors who have to stop in there and buy food stuff for to eat. They don't have to stop in there and buy clothes to cover the clothes they wore up there because they're lying and saying it's inappropriate. They close up.
Us that were incarcerated, our families come to see us is building this town up.
Yes.
Building this town up.
Oh, absolutely.
They put the money, they treat us like, I won't say the word, like...
Yeah, this is not a family-oriented show, but we definitely don't want to break too many FCC rules.
Bad as they treat us, our families come up to see it generate the monetary value up in these towns.
Yeah.
I see it. Because once I came, I tried to get vending machines in there. No, you ain't from up here. Get out of here.
No. You're not going to benefit from this economy.
And y'all trying to...
You're not going to benefit from this economy.
Absolutely.
This is slavery 2.0. Let's not forget. And I'm going to say this almost every time. I don't care ad nauseum. You can turn it off if you don't want to hear it. This is slavery 2.0. We went from the plantation to the penitentiary to the prison to they changed the name changed, the game remains the same. Slavery correction facility.
We're working there for nothing.
Yeah,
exactly.
Slavery and made the core crowd making them rich.
It's on the stock exchange and everything.
Yeah.
But if people don't and listen, my people,
but we doing that. We inhuman. I'm putting self-test for nonsense.
I want to be delicate with how we address the people about this, because we're talking about the problem. The solutions are this: one, follow the law.
Absolutely.
Follow the law. Follow the law.
And we're not saying nothing otherwise.
Just follow the law.
Exactly.
Let me put it parenthetically speaking. Look at this. We asking you to follow the law. They want to make recommendations to change it when you haven't followed it. The idea is that there might be some things that need to be worked out, but we won't know that until you do what's supposed to be done to begin with. You can't talk to me about recommendations for change when you haven't done what you're supposed to do to even know. You don't even know if you're going to need that. You don't, if you operate it the way it's written and in the spirit in which it was written, half of that stuff you recommended will become superfluous. You won't need it because it will be a well-oiled machine. You will see people change. You'll see violence go down. You'll see people start coming back. All the things you don't want to see.
Exactly.
And that's why you're not going for it. So what you want, Hall is the law. You can write to every legislator, and we have information, every address, email you want. You can contact your write and call people and express your concern and your disbelief that they would be breaking the law when they got your nephew, cousin, uncle, friend, neighbor locked up for breaking the law. That why they won't follow a law that was done the right way. They ask us to do things the right way now. I try to do things the right way now. My name been right all along, but I wasn't doing things the right way. And now I try to do things the right way, and you're going to tell me that don't matter.
Yeah.
I spent 15 years of my release after 30 years in prison fighting for a law that I know would save and change lives. And in the breath of a stroke of pen, they said, suspended, not implemented. And that's fair. And I can't see how. I mean, 15 years of my free life I spent because I know, like my uncle said, the impact it has on people's lives, and I want to stop others from that devastation and death. So I invested in that, and I did it the right way, along with others. I didn't do it alone. This me far be from that. We, the campaign, did it the right way.
That's right.
And now, you're just going to usurp legislative authority, gubernatorial authority, the courts, which has consistently upheld that you should not be pausing, you have no right to suspend, you should be fully implementing, the UN, which is now involved because it is tortured by UN standards, by HALT standards, by human standards, and they don't want to see it continue. We got to get the Pope in here for you to follow the law. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
What do we have to do?
What do we have to do?
Well, I know one thing we're going to do is that we're not going to stop until this
We are not going away. We are not going away. We're not giving up, and we're going to continue to fight.
I know y'all got this little game y'all play with knocking us off, but we like baby's kids. We die. We don't die. We multiply.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, we multiply.
Nothing venture, nothing gain. Nothing venture, nothing gain. Trust me on that one.
That's right. There's a movement afoot.
Exactly.
And don't get caught under his foot by thinking that we playing any games. Because we see now that there is no way justice exists for us when you can do the things that you continue to do blatantly in our face. Have the highest office in the country headed by a criminal.
34
Have
times.
him pardoning people who is involved in an insurrection.
Talk about it.
Having him pardon a disgraced congressman. Pardoned him the other day, free, talking about they were treating him bad in prison. He shouldn't have been treating his constituents bad when he was in office. They wouldn't have been in jail. But nobody gonna say that. A government which is ruthlessly violating the law at every turn. Indicting people for personal problems and issues. And where's all these people who should be screaming out about no, it is wrong.
Right.
It is wrong. There is no way you can make it right. No way you can make it right. But ain't nobody screaming about it. But let a black man do something.
Why?
It'll go viral.
Yeah.
It'll go viral. Here you got a guy who got umpteen pictures with young
Women, young girl,
in the presence of Epstein. in the presence of Epstein, pictures. I didn't make them. They not AI generated. Pictures upon pictures, hugging and fraternizing, and young girls. And we know if he was with Epstein and there's young women, it's like Puffy and Baby Oil. You know what's going on. It's a freak off.
That's right.
All right. They got an old saying I used to hear back in the day. Tell me who you be with, and I'll tell you what you do.
And who you are. Yeah,
okay.
you are the company.
Tell me who
keep.
you be with, and I'll tell you what you do.
But then we ain't got to talk about hanging with them. We got pictures.
Exactly.
You know what? I give the 47th president some I got to give credit where it's due. He said in running for campaign earlier, his first campaign, that he could shoot somebody in the head on 42nd and 5th Avenue and wouldn't lose a vote, wouldn't nothing happen to him. And that's what he's done. So you can't tell me you didn't know what he's going to do. Because that's what he said. He could do that. Right. And he's done everything just short of that. So that might be on the agenda next.
Exactly.
Yeah. So keep your eyes on 42nd, the deuce. Yeah. But in any event, there you got a person who's wielding power abusively, and nobody's saying anything. We got a government shut down for 2 weeks now. 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Almost the longest in history. Be that a day or two from now. And nobody's saying nothing. We go on the street on No King's Day, Strike Back Day, and then we go back to work like everything's all right the next day. That's why I didn't go.
If nothing changes, nothing changes.
There you go.
That's as simple as it can get.
That's it. And that's what's going on. But see, this movement is only about change. And as you can see, we're not sitting still. We ain't waiting on nobody. We ain't resting on no laurels. Not only are we speaking truth to power, we are mobilizing the people that we need that's going to be out there to address these issues as boots on the ground. And they ain't going to have no fans. They going to be boots on the ground. That's right. So I'm encouraging you. Fact check anything we say. I'm encouraging you to find out for yourself. Remember that word, be autodidactic. That's the word Malcolm X taught me, man. That means self-learned, self-taught. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you got to learn for yourself because people who lie to you going to teach you a lie. Mm-hmm. And then when somebody tell you the truth, you're going to believe the lie to your detriment of the truth setting you free. That's what that statement in the beginning was about. We would all be free, but for the lies that hold us hostage. I don't know. We getting to the end of the show, and I want to thank my guests. I mean, they didn't have to come on. They didn't come dressed like we do in Harlem, fly down and all that. They were talking about how they look and all this. But it's undeniable that we don't care how we look. We care about the results of this struggle. That's right.
It's not about the vanity.
You can put lipstick on a pig. It's still going to be poor.
A pig. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So you can put clothes on a man. Man don't make the clothes. The man make the clothes. The clothes don't make the man. So we standing here in our war gear now. Free the people. We standing here ready for battle because we fighting for life, liberty, and the true pursuit of happiness.
Better believe it.
Oh, shucks. See, I used to be really good at this stuff, but a little time away from the studio because that was supposed to be a seamless So what happens with live stuff, so I'm going to tell you about this. Think about it. This is what our call is. This is what you can do.
Hey. What is your deepest fear, young man? Go on.
Why you keep saying that? What's your deepest fear? What that mean? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
Hey, Adele, Margaret, AOD Margaret, thank you for the suggestions of the Alabama Solution on Netflix and the other show that you asked people to strike us. We are the Wright Report, entertainment for the community. We're about to sign out, and my new phrases is Versace shades watching ya.
All right.